As you will recall, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, at its sitting on Wednesday, April 13, 2016, deliberated on a motion on the urgent need for effective implementation of the joint venture cash calls obligations by the NNPC and its joint venture partners in accordance with the Appropriation Acts of the National Assembly, and thereafter mandated the committees on gas, headed by my humble self, petroleum resources, headed by Senator Tayo Alashadora, finance, headed by Senator John Eno, and appropriation headed by Senator Danjuma Maguche, to investigate the operations of the NNPC joint venture cash calls and make appropriate recommendations from its findings to the Senate. It is my honor, therefore, on behalf of the Joint Committee, to thank our indefatigable Senate President, His Excellency Dr. Bukola Saraki, CON, and the entire leadership of the Senate for finding us worthy to undertake this critical assignment, and for the Senate President taking out time out of his busy schedule to personally inaugurate this public hearing. This Joint Committee understands that this action of the Senate President today underscores the importance of this critical assignment to our nation. It should at this juncture be noted that the effective implementation of the joint venture cash calls by both the NNPC and its operators determines the level of investment activities in the oil and gas sector. With arrears of over $7 billion as at the time of this referral, depleting crude oil and gas reserves, increased unemployment and redundancy in the sector, and the consistent decline in the oil and gas revenue to our Federation account make this investigation inevitable. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this task, which the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has bestowed on this committee, is onerous and challenging, but we assure you that the thorough job will be done. The committee has, without further delay, summarized the scope of its assignment as follows. Review of all submissions by NNPC and its joint venture partners in line with the operations of the joint venture agreements entered into since 1991 and the Appropriation Acts of the National Assembly over the years. Identify highlights and report missing or insufficient information from all submissions made by both the NNPC and its joint venture partners. Collate and analyze all submissions by the NNPC and its JV partners and identify any misappropriation and diversion of funds whatsoever. The committee will also identify and review compliance by the operators of the joint venture on its cash call obligations within the period under review, which is between 2011 and 2015. As we speak of today, we are still having the outstanding information from it's only Chevron, Egypt, and Mobil that has given us their own bank statement, both in dollars and in naira, on the payment of their own cash call obligation as that went due. Based on its findings, this committee will make appropriate recommendations on the effectiveness of the operations of the NNPC joint venture cash call obligations and provide appropriate sanctions, if any, to the Senate. The committee, having established a framework for this investigation covering between 2011 and 2015, had requested for the following information from our NNPC and its joint venture partners. Their approved budget of the joint venture operations, joint venture agreement of each joint venture, budget performance of all the joint venture operations, evidence of payment recommendations to receipts for joint venture cash calls, evidence of the operator's credit of its monthly cash call obligations to the joint operating account as and when due in line with the joint operating agreement, and all relevant documentation information to approvals on any alternative funding operations for the joint venture. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, It is the mandate of the committee to collate, analyze, and report the submissions by both the NNPC and the joint venture partners for us to ensure and ascertain the effectiveness of the operations and utilization of the appropriated funds within the years under review. This committee is committed to the execution of this mandate to the letter and within a considerable time frame. We enjoin the commitment, the cooperation, and the support of all relevant stakeholders here present and those who have submitted memoranda to the committee in their subsequent attendance of the public hearing to ensure that this committee delivers on this core mandate. Once again, we wish to express our profound gratitude to our dear Senate President, His Excellency Dr. Bukola Saraki, CON, and the entire leadership of the Senate for the trust and confidence in this committee. To our invited guests and stakeholders, we thank you for making time out, especially the GMD NNPC, to be here, and we solicit your support in the course of this important assignment. It is therefore on this note that I humbly hereby invite His Excellency, the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Bukola Saraki, CON, to please inaugurate this public hearing. Thank you, Your Excellency.